In every play, there is a script. But in an abusive family, you don't get to audition for your part. It's assigned to you before you can even speak. You might be the star, who can do no wrong, or the villain, who is blamed for the weather. If you've ever felt like you're trapped in a character that isn't really you, this episode is for you. We're identifying the cast of the abuse blueprint. Welcome back. Last week, we tore down the 4 walls: the debt collector, the mirror, the divide, and the blanket. Today, we're looking at who is living inside those walls. If the family is a system, then every person has a job to do to keep that system from collapsing. In my house, the roles were set in stone. I was the one who asked too many questions, which made me a problem. But it wasn't until I was an adult that I realized we weren't just a group of individuals. We were a troupe of actors performing a tragedy directed by one person. Today, we're talking about the assigned roles, from the golden child to the flying monkeys, and how to finally walk off the stage. Before we meet the cast, we have to open the jargon jar. Today's term is enmeshment. In plain English, it's the blurred border. In a healthy family, there are fences. You know where you end and your parent begins. But in an abusive system, those fences are torn down. Enmeshment is when the abuser's needs, moods, and secrets become yours. If they are angry, you must be scared. If they are happy, you must be grateful. You aren't allowed to have a private internal world. Once you recognize that your emotions have been hijacked, you can start rebuilding your borders. The first role is the most deceptive, the golden child. This is the perfect representative. They are the one the abuser holds up as the standard. They get the praise, the resources, and the love. But that love is highly conditional. The golden child's job is to be the abuser's ego boost. They are a trophy, not a person. But here's the secret. Being the golden child is its own kind of prison. They are under immense pressure to never fail, because if they lose their gold status, they lose their safety. They are often used as a weapon against the other siblings, a constant reminder of why you can't be more like them. The golden child isn't a favorite. They are a tool. The second role is the one I knew best, the scapegoat, or the truth teller. If the golden child is the trophy, the scapegoat is the trash can. Everything that is wrong with the family, the stress, the financial issues, the abuser's own internal shame, gets dumped on this person. The scapegoat is usually the most perceptive member of the family because they see the cracks in the wall. The abuser has to discredit them. If the scapegoat is crazy or difficult or the black sheep, then the abuser doesn't have to listen to the truth they are speaking. If you were the scapegoat, know this: you weren't targeted because you were weak. You were targeted because your light was bright enough to show the dust in the room. The third role is the lost child, or the ghost. While the golden child and the scapegoat are locked in a high-drama battle for attention, the lost child survives by becoming invisible. They are the quiet ones, the ones who stay in their room, the ones who don't need anything. Their job in the system is to provide the abuser with one less thing to worry about. They disappear into books, video games, or their own heads to escape the crossfire. The tragedy of the lost child is that they learn their safety is tied to their absence. They grow up feeling like they don't have a right to take up space or have needs of their own. The cast isn't complete without supporting actors. The flying monkeys, taken from The Wizard of Oz, these are the people the abuser recruits to do their dirty work. They might be aunts, uncles, or even the other parent. Flying monkeys don't always know they're being used. The abuser whispers in their ear, "I'm so worried about Dakota. She's really struggling." And the flying monkey rushes in to help by pressure cooking the victim back into submission. They are the enforcers of the status quo. They show up to tell you to forgive and forget, or don't ruin Christmas. They aren't interested in the truth. They are interested in the silence. Now let's step into the advocacy corner. We often treat domestic abuse as a two-person conflict, but legally and socially, we need to look at the generational ledger. When a system assigns these roles, it's often passing down a script from 40 years ago. If we don't have social services and legal frameworks that understand family dynamics as a whole, we keep treating the symptoms instead of the virus. We need to stop asking, "What is wrong with that child?" and start asking, "What role is that child being forced to play to keep the adult stable?" Real advocacy means looking at the whole stage, not just the person standing under the spotlight. If you recognize yourself in one of these roles, here are 2 tools to help you break character. First, the costume change. Start small by declining the role. If you are the scapegoat and you're baited into an argument, choose gray rocking. Give short, uninteresting answers. Don't provide the drama the script requires. When you stop acting like a villain, the abuser loses their plot. And number 2, the stage door exit. Recognize that you don't owe the cast a performance. If the flying monkeys call you to guilt trip you, you hang up. If the golden child tries to fix you, you can set a boundary. You are allowed to leave the theater. The play cannot continue if the actors refuse to take the stage. The family script only works if everyone follows the lines. By naming your role, whether you were the trophy, the target, or the ghost, you've taken the first step toward writing your own story. You are not the character they created. You are the author of what comes next. If you or someone you know is in danger, please reach out to the National Domestic Violence Hotline at 800-799-7233 or text START to 88788. Your life is not a performance. See you next week.